The Simpsons have predicted the future 6 times, and no one knows how they do it. Okay, so once upon a time there was a man named Matt Groening. He was hanging out in the late 80s, Tracey Ullman Show, which was a sketch comedy show. And he had this idea for a cartoon that would be a part of the Tracey Ullman Show. And it was called The Simpsons. It was just a series of shorts about this family in Springfield. But then, the powers that be said, "Hey, people seem to like these Simpsons things. Why don't you make it a full half-hour show?" And then Matt was like, "Uh-oh, I gotta make a whole bunch of Simpsons." So he got to work writing the first episode of The Simpsons. Now, according to legend, Matt was writing away in his office when suddenly he heard a knock at the door. And when he opened it, it was James L. Brooks, who was the head of the production company that was producing The Simpsons. And apparently, when Matt opened the door, James was standing there holding a stack of papers, and he said, "Here's the Bible," dropped it on the desk and left. Now, normally the Bible is where all the background information about a show is kept. It's got character bios, it's got histories, it's got everything you need to know about a show that isn't necessarily plot-related. But since James just sort of dropped it on Matt's desk and left, this meant that Matt had to write the first episode of The Simpsons without any of the background information that he would normally have. He didn't know anything about these characters except for their names. So he just kind of went for it and wrote the first episode called Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. But here's where things get weird. You see, when Matt was writing the episode, he wasn't sure what to do with the characters, but as he was writing, he started to hear voices in his head. Voices that sounded exactly like Dan Castellaneta, Julie Kavner, Nancy Cartwright, Hank Azaria, and Harry Shearer. And Matt was like, maybe I should use those voices for my characters. So that's what he did. As soon as he started writing dialogue for the episode, it was as if he knew exactly what these characters were going to say. The episode aired on December 17th, 1989, and it was a hit. And then Matt and the crew got to work on the second episode. Now, the second episode of The Simpsons was called Bart the Genius. And in it, Bart takes a test that determines his IQ. And when the results come back, they find out that he has an IQ of 216, which is pretty smart. Now remember, this episode aired in 1990. Fast forward to 2009 when we find out that, Albert Einstein had an IQ of 216. Now, obviously, the writers didn't know that when they created the show, but still, it's pretty cool that Bart has the same IQ as Albert Einstein. Matt and the crew kept on trucking along. They kept on writing episodes, and season after season, year after year, they kept on getting ratings. In fact, they got such good ratings that in 1997, they were the highest-rated sitcom on television. And even today, they're still going strong. But that's not surprising because it's a classic show. Now, I could keep talking about how great The Simpsons is forever, but I won't, because someone might not like it. So instead, I'll tell you about something that you can do right now. You can get new content by clicking that subscribe button. Thank you for listening. Stay frosty, my friends.